afternoon, everyone. Basil Chapman sitting in for Tom O'Brien, and this is the Tom O'Brien Show. And Tommy just couldn't make it, and I'm subbing for him. And, of course, I will also be interviewing Tim Moore a little later on in the show, so it'll be quite exciting to hear that, what he's got to say. What we're looking at here, talking about exciting, so the Dow is having a very strong move. It's up 537 points at 43,117. It has just broken the 43,115 high that was made back around about the 9th of June. It didn't take much time. Well, it was in a sideways pattern. So let me just go through this very calmly. It was in a sideways pattern that suggested to my service here at TFNN is I do the show at 10 o'clock, the Tiger Technicians Hour, every Monday through Friday, work days. And what we're looking at is within that show, I've been talking about certain aspects of the market that were on my watch list and that were really important. And one of them is the 9-period moving average. When it crosses over the 14-period exponential moving average, it can keep one in a position for much longer than you would anticipate. And when it finally goes from green, which is positive because it's gone over the 14-period moving average, from pink it goes to green, when there are certain declines, if within that decline the 9-period moving average remains green, then there's a really good chance that there's going to be like a spring-loaded move to the upside. Doesn't guarantee that it's going to go to the previous peak, but it says it's a very strong move. And therefore, when we went short the Dow, which is the day after this recent top, everything was looking like there should be a sideways consolidation, and that if the left side low was taken out, and that was right here, let me just get to that, right here, and that's basically at the 42,081 area. If it was just taken out decisively, there's a real good chance it could go down to the 200-period exponential moving average in the 41,700s. But once over the weekend, once the bombing started and basically ended, once you saw crude oil start to really turn down, look at this, crude oil has gone from the 78s down to where it is right now in the 64s. I mean, that is a huge decline. But it's more than a decline. It's telling us that crude oil at this particular moment is just not an issue in terms of inflation, in terms of the Straits of Hormuz. The whole area of fear that comes across when crude oil starts to really move up is not there, number one. The icon of gold that I always talk about, that I see gold as an icon of fear for the Middle East. It is the traditional way of looking at any kind of warfare, and that is for people to buy gold, for countries to buy gold. Look at this. Gold is down $64. How much is it now? $64. And it's now, the 9-period moving average is still green. It hasn't turned pink yet. But when it does, there's a good chance that gold the upside will be extremely limited in this particular phase right now. And they could start to open up some more downside activity. That is really important to the market. And why does it help the market? Because just takes pressure off the market by saying that's something you don't have to worry about right now. Here's the other thing. Bonds. Look at this. The bonds were down earlier this morning when I did my show at 8 o'clock because I couldn't do it at 10. The bonds were down, yields were up. But we were looking at it and saying, well, it is holding the 9-period moving average. Let's see where it closes. But as long as yields are in this range, it's not an issue. If yields were to come down, because I had a question on my show a couple of days ago about the housing market, if the Fed's starting to talk about lowering rates, I said, well, let's go one step at a time. But let's look at Toll Brothers. Well, we did that. Toll Brothers, beautiful move today. It's up $1.67 at 114. Yesterday it was at 100. 112, I believe, when we were looking at it. I said, this is one of the better ones in the home builders. It's still a very ugly monthly chart. The weekly chart is really only improving, but that is very nice action. It says a little bit higher, and you can start to see a test at 116.50 of the 200-period exponential moving average. Toll Brothers hasn't seen that level since it broke down way back, and that was in February. February the 7th was the last time it hit that 200-period moving average. So this is very important, and it's important for a number of other reasons. And the other reasons are, I was articulating this both yesterday, actually the end of last week, and in my show yesterday, and again today, is that you're getting this rotation, and that's really important in this market. So let me just run these real quickly. The Dow right now is up, let's see, it's up 525 at 43,108. The S&P right here, let's get to that. The S&P right now is up 72 at 6,097. The all-time high is right here at 6147.43. That was earlier this year, so it's attempting to get there. It's now in a leg C. In the weekly chart, the 9 is very strong. The MACD is strong. The stochastic's fabulous at 94%. On balance, volume's a little bit of a worry, but the speed with which we've turned around from going into that rectangle sideways pattern has been impressive. The 9-period moving average never even got close to turning pink, so that's still very positive for the daily chart. The QQQ is another area that's really important, and it gapped up today to a new, not just a recovery high, 540.81. I just want to make sure that I've got the right high for the NDX 100. That's the QQQ. Yes, 540.81. And the high so far today is 540.70. Did it? Yep, 540.70. It's an eye blink away from an all-time high. That is really good. IWM. Here we are. We're looking at the IWM actually participating very well. It's up 3.01 at 214.78. That is up 1.42%. That's very nice. And for the first time, the 9-period moving average since April, this is the first time the 9-period moving average for the second week, well, the week is not finished, but at least for the second week, the 9 is over the 14. The MACD is good. Stochastic's finally gotten to the 80 level, 80% level, and that's a big positive. Just once again, now I need to look at the SMHs because that's very important. SMHs are very strong. Now, 269.66 was the previous high, not the all-time high, and today's high is so far 271.33, almost at the 283.97 all-time high. Hey, very exciting. I'll be back in a moment. Basil Chapman sitting in for Tommy O'Brien. This is the Tom O'Brien Show. I'll be back in a moment.